It's a barrel with hoses, the energy flowing through. But if your energy system is broken, then the energy stops flowing and the barrel starts leaking.
Right now, there's something inside you, something most people never learn to control. You feel it when excitement rushes through you, when fear grips you, when deep focus takes hold. It moves through you in moments of love, anger, and transformation. It's energy. And whether you realize it or not, it's shaping your entire existence. But what if you could harness it? What if, instead of letting it control you, you learned to control it, turning it into something greater, something real, something powerful? Most people waste their energy. But here's the problem. Most people waste it. They burn it up in distractions, in doubt, in meaningless cycles that lead nowhere. They lose it to things that drain them, to people who manipulate them, to habits that keep them stuck. And once it's gone, they wonder why they feel so weak, so directionless, so empty. What if you could direct it towards something greater, something powerful, something real? What if the energy inside you didn't have to slip through your fingers but could be harnessed, sharpened, and used to reshape your life? This isn't fantasy. This isn't some far-off secret hidden in dusty old books. This is real, and it has been known for centuries. The ancients understood energy better than we do today. They knew how to move it, store it, expand it. They used it to heal, to create, to connect with forces beyond ordinary perception. The Taoists called it Qi, the life force that flows through all things. The yogis called it prana, the breath of the universe itself. In the West, alchemists sought to transmute energy, to refine it like gold, to elevate the human soul beyond its limitations. And Tesla, yes, Nikola Tesla once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." But today, the ability to control energy is being lost. People are distracted. They live in constant noise, flooded with information, but starved of wisdom. They burn out, never realizing that energy is not meant to be wasted. It is meant to be mastered. And here's the truth. If you don't control your energy, someone else will. So the question is, are you ready to take it back? The hidden war over energy. Most people don't even realize they're in a battle. They wake up drained before the day has even begun. They spend hours scrolling, clicking, consuming, all while feeling empty inside. Their emotions are hijacked by whatever the world throws at them. News, advertisements, drama, fear. And every second, their energy is being taken. But who is taking it? Look at history. Ancient mystics and scholars understood that energy could be harnessed, that human beings were capable of incredible transformation if they learned to direct their inner power. Yet, throughout time, certain forces have worked to suppress this knowledge. They ridiculed the idea of energy mastery, replaced spiritual wisdom with empty distractions, and created a world where people are too tired, too confused, too disconnected to see the truth. The philosopher Gurdjieff spoke of how most people are asleep, moving through life without awareness, without direction. He believed true awakening came from harnessing and refining one's energy, something that required effort, discipline, and deep inner work. Similarly, Sufi mystics taught that human beings had multiple layers of energy, each corresponding to different levels of consciousness. The average person is stuck in the lower levels, trapped by desire, fear, and emotional turbulence. But those who learn to control their energy can rise above, accessing higher states of awareness, intuition, and even direct experience of the divine. This is why energy control is dangerous to those who seek control over others. A person who knows how to master their own energy cannot be easily manipulated. They cannot be drained by toxic systems or enslaved by external forces. They become sovereign, self-empowered, capable of shaping their own reality. So ask yourself, have you ever felt exhausted for no reason? Have you ever felt like your energy is being pulled in 1,000 directions, leaving you too weak to focus on what truly matters? That is not an accident. How energy works, and why most people get it wrong. Energy is not just physical, it exists in layers: mental, emotional, spiritual. You can feel it when you walk into a room where people have been arguing. The air feels thick, heavy. You can sense it when someone stares at you from across the street before you even see them. You can even feel it when certain music lifts your soul, while other sounds leave you feeling agitated and restless. Everything carries a frequency, everything vibrates. The great Hermetic teachings from ancient Egypt describe this as one of the fundamental laws of the universe. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Your thoughts have a frequency. Your emotions send out waves that affect the people around you. Even your words, whether spoken or thought, carry energy that shapes your reality. But most people treat energy like it's random, chaotic, impossible to control. They let their thoughts run wild. They let their emotions dictate their actions. They react instead of direct. And that's exactly why they stay trapped. The first step to controlling energy is to understand that it is always moving. You are constantly generating energy through your emotions, your focus, your actions. Every decision you make is either strengthening or weakening your inner power. Every interaction either raises or lowers your vibration. There is no neutral ground. Imagine your energy like a flowing river. If you don't direct it, it will spill everywhere, seeping into things that drain you, that leave you exhausted. But if you learn to channel it, to guide it, it becomes a force of nature, unstoppable, powerful, transformative. The key to mastering your energy. The truth is, you already have the ability to control your energy. You've just never been taught how. Society doesn't teach energy mastery. It teaches energy depletion. It encourages overstimulation, overconsumption, overthinking. It keeps you distracted so that you never ask the right questions, never reclaim your power. But the mystics, the alchemists, the sages, they knew the secret. Energy follows awareness. Wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. If your mind is scattered, your energy is scattered. If your thoughts are filled with negativity, your energy weakens. If you constantly dwell on fear, doubt, or worry, your energy depletes. The key is to become aware of where your energy is going, to recognize when it is being drained, to reclaim it before it slips away. And this is where the ancient practices come in. Breathwork, meditation, movement, sound. They are not just rituals, they are tools designed to refine and strengthen your energy, to help you break free from the patterns that keep you weak. Imagine standing at the center of a storm while everything around you is chaos. But instead of being thrown around by the wind, instead of being pulled in 100 directions, you remain still, grounded, powerful. That is what it means to control energy. That is what it means to stop being a victim of external forces and start shaping your own reality. So how do you harness this power? It begins with the breath. The breath is the bridge between your body, your mind, and your energy. This is why nearly every spiritual tradition emphasizes controlled breathing. The yogis developed pranayama, techniques that could increase life force and sharpen awareness. The Taoists practiced embryonic breathing, a method of conserving internal energy and reversing the aging process. Even the indigenous peoples of the Americas knew that a deep, controlled breath could shift the body into a state of calm strength. Take a deep breath, but not just any breath. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting the air fill your lungs and expand into your belly. Hold it there for a moment, allowing your body to absorb the energy. Then, exhale just as slowly through your mouth, feeling the release. Notice the difference. One breath, taken with awareness, can change your entire state. Now imagine what would happen if you trained this ability every day. Once your breath is steady, the next step is working with internal awareness. The body is not just flesh and bone, it is an electrical system, a network of currents and charges constantly flowing. If you have ever walked into a place and felt uneasy without knowing why, you have sensed these currents. If you have ever met someone who made you feel instantly at ease, you have felt the power of their energy. This is where visualization becomes key. The ancient Egyptians practiced something called sekhem, a technique where they would mentally channel energy through their bodies, using their thoughts to guide it like light through a crystal. Many mystical orders in the West used similar methods, seeing energy as a golden fluid that could be moved with intent. Even in modern science, studies have shown that focused thought can influence physical matter, proving what mystics have known for centuries. Try this. Close your eyes and imagine a sphere of light in the center of your chest. This is your energy, your power source. Now, with each breath, see it expanding outward, filling your body with warmth and strength. Feel it moving through your arms, down to your hands. Feel it flowing through your spine, up to your head. Let it surround you, forming an invisible shield of pure vitality. This is not just an exercise. It is a method of reclaiming control. The more you practice this, the more aware you will become of your own energy. You will begin to notice when it is strong and when it is weak. You will sense when something is draining you and when something is fueling you. Once you have this awareness, you can take action. You can choose the places, the people, and the thoughts that enhance your energy instead of depleting it. But there is one final secret, one that is often overlooked. Energy is not just about what you take in, it is also about what you give out. The sages of old understood this deeply. The Tibetan monks who practiced Tummo, the art of generating internal heat, did not do so just for themselves. They used their energy to warm entire communities during the freezing winters. The Sufi mystics who spun in meditative dances did not do it for show. They did it to radiate love into the world. Even the Native American shamans, when performing healing rituals, would channel energy not for personal gain, but to restore balance to the tribe. This is the final piece of the puzzle. When you learn to direct energy, you also learn to share it. And when you share it, it multiplies. This is why those who live with purpose seem to have endless vitality. It is why those who uplift others rarely feel drained. Energy, when circulated with intention, does not diminish. It grows. Because once you have this power, you will see the world differently. You will recognize the games that are played to keep people weak. You will no longer fall victim to forces that seek to scatter your focus and drain your will. You will understand deep in your bones that energy is everything. And most importantly, you will know that the choice has always been yours. So the question remains, are you ready to take control? Or will you let your energy slip away, scattered by the world, lost before you ever learn how to use it? Learn it before it's destroyed. This is something the elites don't want you to know. This isn't paranoia. This isn't some wild conspiracy. This is how power has always worked. Throughout history, the most valuable knowledge, the kind that could truly change people's lives, has been hidden, suppressed, or ridiculed. The ability to control energy, to direct it with precision, to use it to transform reality, is not just a lost art. It is something that has been deliberately erased. And here's why. If people knew how to harness their own energy, how to sharpen their focus, how to break free from the distractions that keep them weak, the world would not function the way it does now. Systems built on control would collapse. Fear would lose its grip. Manipulation would fail. This is not a new story. It has happened over and over again, from the burning of sacred texts to the persecution of those who dared to challenge the status quo. There is a reason certain knowledge has been buried, rewritten, or dismissed as myth. Those who seek control thrive on the ignorance of others. They do not want individuals who think, who question, who understand their own power. Ancient cultures understood energy in ways we are only beginning to rediscover. They knew that energy was not just physical, but mental, emotional, and spiritual. They knew that thoughts shaped reality, that emotions carried frequency, that breath itself was a tool for transformation. And yet, time after time, this knowledge was either twisted beyond recognition or wiped out completely. Look at the great mystical traditions. The early Taoists practiced internal alchemy, refining their life force, reaching states of deep awareness and healing. The yogis of India mapped out the body's energy centers, teaching methods to awaken dormant power. The mystery schools of Egypt, Greece, and beyond safeguarded sacred teachings, passing them down only to those who had proven themselves ready. But as history marched forward, something changed. The world became louder, more chaotic, more disconnected. The rise of industrialization, of mass media, of endless distractions, all played a role in shifting people's focus away from inner mastery and toward external control. Energy was no longer seen as something to be cultivated. It was something to be drained, to be consumed, to be wasted. And now we are reaching a breaking point. Why this knowledge is in danger. Imagine a world where no one knows how to focus, where people are constantly exhausted, constantly chasing empty stimulation, unable to sit in stillness, unable to tap into their own potential. That world is already here. And it didn't happen by accident. Energy is the most valuable currency there is. Not money, not gold, not information. Energy itself, your attention, your awareness, your ability to create, is what drives everything. And yet, most people are never taught how to protect it, how to cultivate it, how to direct it with intention. Instead, they are taught to give it away. Look at modern life. Every screen, every ad, every notification is designed to steal a little more of your energy. Fear is constantly fed to you, because fear is a powerful way to keep people weak. Stress is normalized because stressed people are easy to control. Division is encouraged because when people are fighting each other, they don't realize they are being drained by something much larger. This is not a mistake. This is by design. There have always been those who knew the truth about energy, how to control it, how to harness it, how to shape reality itself with their will. They existed in every era, in every culture, often misunderstood, sometimes feared, but always powerful. Some called them sages, others called them inventors, mystics, or even revolutionaries. But at their core, they were all energy manipulators. Take Nikola Tesla, a man obsessed with energy in its purest form. He understood something few could grasp. That energy is limitless, that it moves through everything, that it can be drawn from the very air around us. He once claimed he could create free energy for the world, tapping into the Earth's natural frequencies. But that knowledge was not just ignored, it was actively suppressed. Why? Because true energy manipulation threatens control. It disrupts systems built on keeping people powerless. Tesla died alone, his greatest discoveries buried, but his understanding of energy never truly disappeared. It lingers, waiting for those ready to reclaim it. Then there was Hermes Trismegistus, a figure so shrouded in mystery that historians still debate whether he was one man or a blend of many ancient teachers. The writings attributed to him, the Hermetic texts, speak of the All, the infinite energy that connects everything. One of the most powerful teachings states, "As above, so below, as within, so without." In other words, energy is not just something outside of us, but something we carry within. Those who mastered this truth could alter reality itself. The ancient alchemists who followed his teachings were not just trying to turn metal into gold. They were learning to transform themselves, refining their inner energy until they became something more. In the East, there was Milarepa, a Tibetan master who was said to have reached enlightenment through pure energy work. His life was one of suffering at first, filled with vengeance and darkness, but he turned his energy inward, using breath, vibration, and focus to transform himself completely. Stories claim he developed abilities that defied logic. He could survive in freezing temperatures wearing nothing but a thin robe. He could run for days without rest. And some even say he achieved a form of light body transformation, dissolving into pure energy upon death. Whether or not these tales are literal, one thing is clear. Milarepa understood how to channel energy, how to shape it with his mind and breath, how to reach a level of mastery that few ever achieve. Even figures of mainstream religion held this knowledge. Jesus of Nazareth spoke often of faith, not as a passive belief, but as an active force that could move mountains. He healed with touch, walked on water, and multiplied food. Were these just miracles, or did he understand something deeper about the way energy flows? The Gnostics, a branch of early Christianity, believed that Jesus was teaching people to awaken their own inner power, to break free from the illusions of the physical world and tap into something greater. But like so many other energy manipulators, his teachings were altered, hidden, or reshaped into something that kept people following instead of awakening. In Africa, shamans and spiritual leaders have long understood energy in ways that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. The Dogon people of Mali have knowledge of the Sirius star system that predates telescopes. How did they know? They claim their ancestors received this wisdom from beings who understood energy far beyond human limitations. These shamans speak of Nyama, a force that flows through all things. It can be harnessed for healing, for strength, for protection, but it can also be misused. Those who hoard energy, who take without giving back, who manipulate others for personal gain, these are the ones who face destruction. Even the great conquerors of history knew the power of energy, though they used it in different ways. Genghis Khan, often seen as just a ruthless warlord, had a mastery of momentum, of knowing when to strike, when to retreat, and when to press forward. He understood that energy in battle was not just physical, but psychological. A single shift in perception, a well-timed action, could break an entire army's spirit. His empire did not rise from brute force alone. It came from an ability to read and manipulate the unseen forces that drive people's will. And then there are the unknown energy workers, the ones history forgets, the ones who worked in silence, the monks who spent decades in meditation, refining their energy until their bodies radiated warmth in the coldest mountains. The indigenous healers understood how to move energy through the body and could restore balance where sickness had taken hold. The mystics disappeared into caves, into deserts, into the depths of the mind itself, seeking truths that few would ever hear. All of these figures across time and culture knew something vital. Energy is the foundation of everything. Those who learn to control it do not just change themselves, they change the world around them. But with this power comes responsibility. Not everyone who manipulates energy does so for the right reasons. Some hoard it, some weaponize it, some seek to take it from others rather than cultivate their own. This is why, throughout history, knowledge of energy has been hidden, distorted, and even destroyed. Those who control the flow of energy control the world, and those who seek to free it, those who try to teach others how to harness it, are often silenced. And this is exactly why the knowledge of energy mastery is in danger. Because if enough people wake up to the fact that they are being drained, that they are being manipulated into giving their energy away, the entire system would shift. If people stopped feeding fear, stopped indulging in distractions, stopped letting their emotions be hijacked by external forces, the world would be unrecognizable. There is a reason the great sages, the mystics, the thinkers who truly understood energy were either ignored, persecuted, or turned into misunderstood symbols. Those who learned to control their own power could not be controlled by anyone else. They could not be frightened into submission, could not be bought, could not be deceived. But now, in this moment, that knowledge is resurfacing. The old teachings are being rediscovered. The ancient practices are returning. And for those willing to learn, for those who refuse to remain powerless, the path is open. The forgotten war on energy. Throughout history, there has always been a war, not over land, not over resources, not even over money. The real war has been over consciousness, over what people believe is possible, over how much control they have over their own existence, the destruction of sacred texts, the demonization of ancient practices, the rewriting of history to erase knowledge that once empowered people. These were not random events. They were part of a pattern designed to keep humanity disconnected from its true potential. The Library of Alexandria, which held countless scrolls of wisdom, mysteriously burned. The teachings of the Gnostics, who spoke of inner divinity and direct experience of higher truths, were nearly wiped out. The shamanic traditions of countless cultures were suppressed, their practitioners labeled as dangerous, their knowledge dismissed as superstition. And now, the war has taken a new form. It is not fought with swords or fire. It is fought with distractions, with fear, with systems that keep people too tired, too confused, too divided to realize what is being taken from them. But here's the truth. No matter how many times this knowledge has been buried, it has never been destroyed completely. It has survived in whispers, in symbols, in practices that have endured despite every attempt to erase them. And now, it is time to reclaim it. The urgency of now. Why is this knowledge more at risk today than ever before? Because we are living in an age where attention is the most sought-after commodity, where companies, governments, and institutions all compete for control over what people see, what they think, and what they feel. True inner power is seen as a threat because a person who controls their own energy cannot be controlled by anyone else. The distractions are becoming stronger. The noise is getting louder. The forces that want you exhausted, unfocused, and dependent are working harder than ever. But so is the awakening. More people are beginning to sense that something is off, that something vital is missing. More people are realizing that they have been giving away their energy without even knowing it. More people are looking for a way out, a way back to themselves, back to their own power. The question is, will you be one of them? This knowledge will not be around forever. It is being buried beneath endless layers of noise, rewritten into something meaningless, twisted until it is unrecognizable. If you do not take hold of it now, if you do not begin to practice it, embody it, live it, you may never get another chance. There is a reason this information is resurfacing now. The world is at a tipping point. People are either going to wake up to their power or lose it entirely. Energy does not disappear, but it can be taken, misdirected, or drained until there is nothing left. And if you do not learn how to control it, someone else will do it for you. So the time is now. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, because once this knowledge is gone, once it is twisted, suppressed, buried again, it may take centuries before it emerges once more, and by then, it may be too late. There is a saying in Thailand that goes, Nam Ron Mai Kun, Nam Yen Mai Long, which means, hot water does not rise, and cold water does not sink. On the surface, it seems simple, just an observation about the behavior of water. But this saying carries a hidden truth about energy, one that was once deeply understood, but is now often overlooked. In Thai spiritual traditions, particularly in the practice of Lersi hermit meditation and samadhi, energy is believed to have its own natural order. The body, mind, and spirit are like layers of water, and if the balance is disrupted, energy becomes chaotic. When energy is chaotic, a person becomes unstable, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. Their thoughts scatter, their emotions spiral. They are easily influenced, easily drained, easily controlled. This is why the knowledge of energy cultivation has been both treasured and hidden in Thailand for centuries. The Lersi, ancient hermits who lived in the jungles and mountains, were known for their deep wisdom in controlling energy. They practiced techniques that allowed them to conserve their life force, sharpen their awareness, and transcend ordinary perception. Their practices were not just about meditation, they were about survival. They knew that the world would always try to pull people away from their own power. They knew that distractions, desires, and manipulations would threaten to erode true wisdom. But here's where things become even more interesting. The knowledge of the Lersi was not just ignored, it was actively suppressed. The suppression of Lersi's teachings. For centuries, the Lersi were respected as sages and healers. Kings and warriors sought their guidance. Their knowledge was vast, covering everything from herbal medicine to deep spiritual practices. But as Thailand modernized, the Lersi way of life began to fade. At first, it was gradual. The rise of urbanization and Western influence caused people to see these hermits as relics of the past, wise, but no longer relevant. Then came the shift in perception. They were no longer just old masters. They were seen as superstitious figures, eccentric and outdated. Their sacred knowledge was dismissed as folklore. Their teachings were reduced to mere legends. Why? The modern world does not want people who can control their own energy. A person who understands their own energy cannot be easily manipulated. They are not swayed by propaganda. They do not need constant entertainment or distractions to feel whole. They do not give in to fear tactics because they recognize that fear is just another form of energy, one that can be transformed instead of obeyed. The Lersi knew this. That is why their deepest teachings were never written down for the masses. They understood that true energy mastery could not be given to just anyone. It had to be protected, because in the wrong hands, it could be used for control instead of liberation. But now, this knowledge is slipping away. In Thailand today, the ancient wisdom of the Lersi is nearly extinct. Their practices have been commercialized and turned into exotic curiosities rather than serious disciplines. Few people remember the original purpose of their meditations, their breathing techniques, their rituals. Even fewer practice them, and yet the principles remain. What this means for you. The idea that energy must be balanced, that it must be cultivated, protected, and directed was once common knowledge. But now it is treated as a secret, something mystical rather than practical. The modern world teaches people to scatter their energy, to waste it on endless consumption, to live in constant distraction. But the truth is, energy is everything. It is your focus. It is your ability to create. It is your presence, your influence, your very essence. And if you do not learn to control it, someone else will. The Solace understood this, just as many other ancient traditions did. They knew that those who could master their own energy would always have an advantage over those who could not. That is why their teachings were hidden. That is why even today, much of this knowledge is either dismissed or distorted. But here's the secret. The knowledge has not been lost. It still exists, waiting for those who seek it. The question is, will you be one of the few who claim it? Because if you don't, it may soon be gone forever. Now that you understand how to control your energy, the real question begins. What will you do with it? Most people live their entire lives without ever realizing that energy is their greatest asset. They pour it into stress, into worry, into situations that drain them instead of empowering them. They let it be stolen by distractions, by people who feed off their time and attention, by a world that thrives on keeping them weak. But now you know the truth. Energy is not just something you have, it is something you wield. And once you have learned to move it, direct it, and protect it, you must also learn how to use it wisely. The first and most powerful use of energy is transformation. This is something the ancients understood deeply. In alchemy, they spoke of turning lead into gold, but this was never about physical metal. It was about the self. It was about taking what was heavy, dense, and limiting and refining it into something radiant and free. The Taoists had the same idea. They practiced Niden, internal alchemy, a process of purifying the body, mind, and spirit to achieve immortality, not of the flesh, but of the soul. Even in modern science, energy is never destroyed, only transformed. This means that every ounce of energy you hold can be shifted into something greater. When you focus your energy on transformation, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and start seeing yourself as its architect. You take every emotion, every thought, every experience, and you use it. Anger becomes fuel for creation. Pain becomes wisdom. Fear becomes a doorway to mastery. This is what separates those who remain trapped in cycles of suffering from those who rise beyond them. But energy is not meant to be hoarded. The next step is expansion. When a river flows, it brings life to everything it touches. When energy moves, it spreads influence. The great teachers of the past did not keep their power hidden. They radiated it. The Buddha, upon reaching enlightenment, did not retreat into the mountains forever. He shared what he knew, and in doing so, transformed entire civilizations. Nikola Tesla, a man obsessed with energy in its purest form, dreamed of a world where power flowed freely to all, untethered from greed and control. Even in spiritual traditions like Reiki and Qigong, the idea is the same. Energy is at its strongest when it is allowed to flow. This is why those who understand energy often become leaders, whether they intend to or not. Their presence shifts rooms. Their words linger in minds long after they have spoken. Their actions create ripples that turn into waves. When you cultivate your energy, people will feel it, and they will either be drawn to it or try to diminish it. This brings us to the next use of energy: protection. Not everyone who senses your power will celebrate it. Some will seek to drain it, to distort it, to pull it down into their level of confusion and doubt. In many traditions, this is referred to as the concept of the evil eye, the idea that envy, resentment, or ill intentions can cast an unseen shadow over those who shine too brightly. The solution is not to hide your energy, but to shield it. Visualization and grounding. Visualization is one method. Imagine a barrier of light around you, impenetrable to anything that seeks to disrupt your balance. Another method is grounding, reconnecting your energy to the earth so that no external force can shake it. But the most powerful defense is internal mastery. When you truly own your energy, When you know who you are and what you stand for, nothing can touch you. And then comes the final, most advanced use of energy: creation. The world around you is shaped by the energy people put into it. Every great work of art, every invention, and every movement that has ever changed history started as pure energy in someone's mind before it became something tangible. The same is true for your life. What you give energy to, you bring into existence. If you invest it in doubt, you create failure. If you invest it in purpose, you create miracles. This is why many spiritual traditions emphasize the spoken word. The ancient Egyptians believed words carried a force called Heka, a power so strong that what was spoken aloud had the ability to shape reality. The Bible echoes this with its opening words, "Let there be light." In Hindu philosophy, the sacred sound Om is said to be the vibration from which all of existence was formed. Even modern psychology has caught up, proving that what we repeatedly say and think carves pathways into our brains, rewiring our entire perception of reality. So, what will you create? This is where energy becomes more than just personal power. It has become a tool for shaping the world. The mystics of the past understood this deeply. They knew that energy is the source of all things, and those who learn to direct it become forces of change. But they also knew something else, something most people overlook. Energy, when left untended, fades. This is why entire civilizations have risen and fallen. It is why wisdom that was once common knowledge is now buried beneath distractions. It is why so many people today feel lost, as if they are disconnected from something they cannot name. Because energy, if not used with intention, is consumed by forces that do not serve you. And that is why now, right now, is the time to decide. You have learned how to control your energy. You know how to move it, direct it, and protect it. The only question left is, what will you do with it? The answer will shape everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.